Hello, welcome to Chrysalis Invictus Tarot. My name is Elizabeth, and today we have for you a special reading for Lughnasadh. Lughnasadh is the first of the Celtic Harvest festivals, and we place it at August 1st on the Celtic Wheel of the year, but sometimes these festivities would last for a month. And the story is that the sun god Lugh, which the holiday is named after, he created this festival in honor of his foster mother, who I can't pronounce the name of at this moment, but she had worked so hard to create the bounty and to plow the earth and all of these beautiful things for the growth, that she died from exhaustion. And so this was a holiday created in her honor, the sun honoring the earth. So the sky and the earth coming together. And right away we have the cat and the stag at the head of our reading. And the stag. Fierceness and nobility, independence, standing one's ground. What are you harvesting this year at Lughnasadh is our chief question. What are the themes? What seeds have you planted and what will you begin to harvest? Not only at Lughnasadh, but moving forward, perhaps, into the next Sabbats. The spirit of love. This is a big theme right now. There's some talk swirling around that now is the time of union. And actually Lughnasadh was a time for hand fasting. So there would be a lot of hand fasting held over this holiday. The hunter of conflict. This love isn't just specifically for romantic situations. There is also this feeling of love for community, of caring for the whole, caring for the collective, which is what the stag is invoked at the midsummer rites and Beltane, as fertilizer, as a symbol of the masculine protector and father energy. So he merges in and mates with the divine feminine to create the bounty that we can now harvest. But really, now he's here to protect those loving relationships. So feeling within ourselves and within others a cultivation of protective, loving energy. The hunter of conflict, it's interesting that it comes up with the cat, because the cat is famously a hunter. And if you look at this illustration, it's definitely on the prowl here. It has its eye on something. And these are necessary conflicts. We're reminded that conflict is a form of tension that is necessary for creation. Without conflict, there's no need for progression or growth. There's an energy here of this Leo season is very, very strong. And with the cat coming up, Lughnasadh, and Lugh is a Celtic sun god. So there's a lot of solar energy here. So this is issues to do with the ego, to do with that younger masculine, so the youth or even the warrior. Working with high intensity masculine energy and learning how to bring it into the space of love. That the motivation here is not self, I want to say aggrandization, but I feel like I can't pronounce that word properly right now. It's for the greater good. It's for those you love. It's for those you protect. And so bringing some wisdom and peace. This is almost like the young masculine and the old masculine coming together. Let's see if we can get some more messages from the Wildwood Tarot. There's something that, if there's been something that you've been after, you're coming into a space of, or a time where it's going to come to you. Like you've been hunting and the time is coming for that to come to you. I'm having trouble speaking today. Okay. So we're going to turn all of these upright. And I will start with the Three of Bows. Wow, yeah, there's a very consistent story here. Fulfillment. There is a coming together and a binding or an intertwining and understanding that's coming to fruition of this cat and stag energy, of this young and old masculine. And it's through this energy of the wise mother. It's sort of like two brothers that fight. And through the love of the mother, they find peace. So for any, for all of us, we all have masculine within us. There is going to be a harmonizing of this young and old energy, of the drive and ambition of the youth and the wisdom and calm of the sage. There's almost a recognition here of I've cultivated the tools that I need to manage any sort of conflict or any sort of difficulty, but I don't always need to use those tools. So for instance, if you have worked hard on boundaries, it's knowing when to put them up and when to let your guard down. It's sort of that return to center. So maybe you were one way, maybe you were really rigid and then you came back to center. You're coming back to center. Here we have the 10 of Vessels, happiness. And this is emotional fulfillment. And though we have the love card here and we have, you know, this idea of romantic love coming together in the next cycle, for sure, especially in August, this is more of a happiness that comes from within, that you've learned to fill your own cup. There may be some issues to do with with accepting the fulfillment that you're receiving at this time, or that you're feeling at this time. That may be a difficulty going forward. That sometimes when we receive the happiness or fulfillment or relationship that we're looking for, it can be hard for us to accept. And so just remembering that, you know, as we close out cycles, new ones begin, and that there are always new lessons to be learned and new ways of approaching ourselves and others. The woodward tends to, this is unbelievable how connected all of this is, tends to the forest, cares for the forest, holds the perimeter. So again, there's strong energy here of having found, made, and established and held, maintained your boundaries. And if you haven't already, that is something that will be coming through in this next cycle. Boundaries and a harmonization of yourself with your instincts. So coming from a more instinctive place, allowing yourself to move and choose and decide and protect from that space. And his companion is also what he wears. So for those of you who shapeshift, now is a really great time to work with those energies, whatever feelings you need to bring into your toolbox, I guess you could say. Finding those animals, merging with them, and experiencing their energy to help fortify you. For some of you, that could be a lynx. And again, we have the cat imagery, perfect for Leo season. Leo really, how do I put this? Leo really likes itself. So when you do readings in Leo season, it's like the strength card, lions, cats, like it'll all come out, which is very Leo. And then we have the 5 of Arrows, frustration. What I'm getting from this is that this is not going to be a time where you stand for middling conflicts or like petty conflicts or shit talking or anything that just feels like low vibrational bullshit. I don't know how else to put it. This is not the time for that. You're not going to be interested in that. If it comes your way, try not to get caught up in that. You can see the arrows are completely missing this little goat fella ram. And again, this has a fire and air energy to it. So that there is this momentum to kind of push through anything that comes up, to not get caught or stuck in a low vibrational space. So let's get a few more cards to just kind of take a look at, I was going to use that, but now I've changed my mind. To take a look at, oh crap. All my cards just dropped all over the floor. I'm going to get 2 more of the Shaman's Oracle just to see what other energies we have guiding us and to see if there's any advice, further advice going forward through this next cycle. So when I say next cycle, that's usually Sabbat to Sabbat, or Lughnasadh is directly opposite Imbolc. So this could be your cycle moving from Lughnasadh to Imbolc. Okay, yeah. The Shaman of Stars. I'm just going to get one more and then we'll talk about that. And the Dancer of Promise. Both very consistent messages here. You're being called to have faith, and this is something that maybe has been a theme in the last cycle for you, is coming into this space of believing in your guides, believing in your inner guidance, believing in yourself, being motivated by and fulfilling the inward self in order to shine outward. And with the Shaman of Stars speaks about hope and about, there's a construction of hope, so that hope isn't just something that we naturally have, that we can feed it and practice it and cultivate it just like any other skill or ability. And that this hope, when we are in this spirit of love, when we are embracing the conflicts that are coming our way, this hope has more material worth. Meaning it's more likely that things will come into fruition if you stay in this energy. There's also a strong connection here and an exploration of astrology. So for some of you, if you are, someone who likes to really study esoteric things, it might be a good time in this next cycle to focus on, and you may be more receptive to the lessons of astrology. So learning more about the planets or the houses or wherever you're at on that journey. I know for me, it's a very slow unfolding process, and I'm ready to learn about houses. Anyway, so we're at the Dancer of Promise here. And the Dancer of Promise, this looks to me like the opening of a cave, and these are the shadows. And it makes me think of Plato's allegory of the cave. And that you have seen and had visions of these things of the future, of these things outside of your present space. And perhaps you've trapped them in a way in this space of dreams. And this is going to be a time to unlock that. This is going to be a time to allow yourself to fully envision your future, envision these dreams as becoming real. You have the energy of the Ten of Cups here. So if you're feeling overfull of this happiness or this energy, or it's sort of like things are going too well, or I don't know how to handle this happiness, throw it into these dreams. Send it out. So you don't have to hold an overwhelming amount of happiness in yourself. I know that may sound strange to say, but it makes sense energetically. You can throw it into new projects, into your community, into love. This is not looking in other lanes. This is being wholly and fully concentrated in on yourself, and you're hunting. You're protecting the perimeter. You are I don't want to say contained because there's radiating outward, but you are able to do nurturing, loving work within yourself because you are protected by yourself. You have the masculine imbalance. And if this doesn't seem like how it feels right now, this could be what you're working toward for the next cycle. So for some of you, you are in this space. This is even your current energy, moving forward and out. For some of you, you are sort of at the beginning of this and you will start to see this emerge. But these are the things that you can work on. These are the things that you can be aware of as you move through this next cycle. So either from Lughnasadh to Autumn Equinox, or Lughnasadh to Imbolc, or maybe a bit of both. Maybe you'll see these cycles continue. Let's actually get, you know what, we'll get a card to represent Autumn Equinox. Shaman of Reflections for Autumn Equinox. All right, so there's a lot of, with the shamans, you're walking a line. So this is about walking the line between this world and the other worlds. So a lot of it is integrating other worlds, lessons, journeying, that kind of thing. And over here we have spirit. So coming up to Imbolc, the spirit of family. So this is the sort of longer cycle. Through Imbolc is this love, family, establishing that kind of fulfillment, that kind of the environment that will help you to grow and to do this work over here, the cycle of now to Autumn Equinox as a shamanic one, as a journeying between two realities and working with both realities to bring this into fruition. So they work together. And the Shaman of Reflections is that inward work. It's working through the heart space. It's looking into the heart. It's looking into the heart and seeing that the work that you do inwardly is reflected outwardly. So from now until Autumn Equinox, I'm also hearing that this may, for some of you, be working through to winter solstice. Begin to observe how when you shift and change, when you embrace new ways of seeing and new perspectives, how those around you shift and change as well. And let's see if we have any final messages. Oh, so it's who is our hidden animal guide? Here we are, the swan. The swan is representative of transformation. And there is an outward presentation of the swan. And then there is what happens under the surface. And the swan is is an animal in mythology that really is taken advantage of and struggles and is almost punished and has to overcome that. And this is that mother energy that I was speaking of before that brings and harmonizes these two oppositional masculine energies. they're not oppositional. They're just, one's young, one's old. One's the boy, one's the grandpa. So what is hidden is the swan. But she's revealed herself here. But you may begin to learn more and more what she means over this next cycle. And sometimes the cycle can last from Lughnasadh to Lughnasadh. So this could be a year-long cycle. You'll know how it unfolds. Please leave me a comment and let me know how this works out for you or how this speaks to you. Thank you so much and have a blessed Lughnasadh.